Welcome. Today, we are looking at division of labor and specialization. This is a key topic in your commerce exams for SS1. Pay close attention. Let us begin. First, let me explain the meaning of division of labor. Division of labor means breaking down a production process into small, separate tasks. Each worker specializes in one task. For example, in a shoe factory, one worker cuts the leather, another stitches the upper, another attaches the sole, and another polishes the finished shoe. Division of labor increases efficiency. Workers become skilled at their specific tasks. They do not waste time moving from one task to another. They can produce more in less time. Division of labor is also called specialization. It is used in almost every industry today. Assembly lines are a common example of division of labor. Henry Ford popularized this concept in his car factories. He broke the production of a car into many small tasks. Each worker did one task repeatedly. This allowed Ford to produce cars much faster and at lower cost. Now, let me explain the meaning of specialization. Specialization is similar to division of labor. Specialization means focusing on producing the goods or services that you are best at producing. Specialization can be at the individual level, the firm level, or the national level. At the individual level, a doctor specializes in heart surgery. A lawyer specializes in criminal law. A teacher specializes in mathematics. At the firm level, a company specializes in making cars. Another company specializes in making tires. Another company specializes in making car batteries. At the national level, Nigeria specializes in producing oil. Ghana specializes in producing cocoa. Saudi Arabia specializes in producing petroleum. Japan specializes in producing electronics. Specialization leads to increased output and trade. Countries trade with each other to get the goods they do not produce. Specialization allows each country to focus on what it does best. This benefits everyone. Now, let me explain the advantages of division of labor. Division of labor has many advantages. First, it increases productivity. Workers produce more output in the same amount of time. When a worker repeats the same task, they become faster. They do not waste time switching tools or tasks. Second, it improves quality. Workers become experts in their tasks. They make fewer mistakes. They learn the best techniques. Third, it saves time. Workers do not have to change tools or move to different workstations. They stay in one place and do one thing. Fourth, it allows for the use of machinery. Machines can be designed for specific tasks. Complex tasks are broken down into simple steps that machines can do. Fifth, it reduces training time. Workers only need to learn one task, not the whole production process. A new worker can become productive in a few days instead of months. Sixth, it leads to innovation. Workers who do the same task repeatedly often find better ways to do it. They invent new tools and techniques. Seventh, it lowers production costs. Higher productivity and better quality mean lower costs per unit. These savings can be passed on to consumers as lower prices. Eighth, it encourages mass production. Division of labor makes it possible to produce large quantities of goods quickly and cheaply. Now, let me explain the disadvantages of division of labor. Division of labor also has disadvantages. First, it can lead to boredom and monotony. Doing the same task over and over again is tedious. Workers may become dissatisfied. They may lose interest in their work. This can lead to high employee turnover. Second, it can lead to unemployment. If a worker is only skilled in one task, they may not find another job if that task is automated. Technology can replace workers. A worker who only knows how to attach soles may have no other skills. Third, it can lead to interdependence. If one worker is absent, the whole production line may stop. The factory depends on every worker doing their part. Fourth, it can lead to increased stress. Workers may feel pressure to keep up with the pace of the production line. They may fear being replaced if they are too slow. Fifth, it can lead to dehumanization. Workers may feel like they are just cogs in a machine. They lose the satisfaction of seeing a finished product. Sixth, it can lead to the exploitation of workers. Employers may pay low wages because each task requires little skill. Workers have little bargaining power. Now, let me explain the relationship between division of labor and specialization. Division of labor and specialization are closely related. Division of labor is the breaking down of a production process into tasks. Specialization is the focus on doing one of those tasks. Division of labor is the system. Specialization is the result. When a factory divides labor, workers specialize in specific tasks. When an economy encourages specialization, workers naturally divide labor. The two concepts work together. Both increase efficiency and output. Both have advantages and disadvantages. Both are essential features of modern economies. Now let me explain the types of specialization. There are several types of specialization. The first type is occupational specialization. This is when a person specializes in a particular occupation. A doctor specializes in medicine. A lawyer specializes in law. An accountant specializes in accounting. Occupational specialization allows people to develop deep expertise in their fields. The second type is industrial specialization. This is when a country or region specializes in a particular industry. For example, the United States specializes in technology. Germany specializes in automobiles. Nigeria specializes in oil. Industrial specialization allows countries to benefit from economies of scale. The third type is territorial specialization. This is when different regions within a country specialize in different products. For example, the Midwest in the United States specializes in agriculture. Silicon Valley specializes in technology. In Nigeria, the Niger Delta specializes in oil. The Southwest specializes in cocoa. The North specializes in groundnuts. Territorial specialization makes use of local resources and climate. The fourth type is international specialization. This is when countries specialize in producing goods for which they have a comparative advantage. Comparative advantage means producing a good at a lower opportunity cost than another country. International specialization is the basis for international trade. Countries export what they produce efficiently and import what they do not. Fifth type is simple specialization. This is when a worker specializes in a simple, repetitive task. This is common in factories. Sixth type is complex specialization. This is when a worker specializes in a complex, skilled task. This requires years of training. Doctors, engineers, and lawyers have complex specialization. Now let me explain the advantages of specialization. Specialization has many advantages. First, it increases output. When workers specialize, they produce more. Second, it improves quality. Experts produce better work. Third, it saves time. Specialists do not waste time learning multiple tasks. Fourth, it encourages innovation. Specialists find new and better ways to do their jobs. Fifth, it allows for the use of advanced technology. Complex machines are designed for specific tasks. Sixth, it leads to lower costs. Higher productivity means lower costs per unit. Seventh, it allows for economies of scale. Large-scale production becomes possible. Eighth, it promotes trade. When countries specialize, they must trade to get what they do not produce. Ninth, it raises living standards. More goods at lower prices means people can buy more. Now let me explain the disadvantages of specialization. Specialization also has disadvantages. First, it can lead to boredom and monotony, just like division of labor. Second, it can lead to unemployment. If demand for a specialized product falls, specialized workers may lose their jobs. They may not have other skills. Third, it can lead to overdependence. A country that specializes in one product may suffer if the price of that product falls. Nigeria experienced this when oil prices dropped. The economy suffered because it depended too much on oil. Fourth, it can lead to a lack of self-sufficiency. A specialized country may not be able to produce essential goods like food. It depends on imports. Fifth, it can lead to regional inequality. Some regions become wealthy while others lag behind. Sixth, it can lead to the exploitation of workers. Specialized workers may have little bargaining power. They may be paid low wages. Now, let me explain the factors that determine specialization. Several factors influence the level of specialization in an economy. The size of the market matters. A large market allows for greater specialization. Adam Smith said that division of labor is limited by the extent of the market. If the market is small, there is no point in specializing. If the market is large, specialization is profitable. The availability of capital matters. Specialization often requires expensive machinery. Countries with more capital can specialize more. The level of technology matters. Advanced technology makes specialization easier. The education and skills of the workforce matter. A skilled workforce can handle complex specialization. The natural resources of a country matter. Countries specialize in products that use their abundant resources. Government policy matters. Governments can encourage or discourage specialization through taxes, subsidies, and trade policies. A common exam question asks you to define division of labor and explain its advantages. Here is a sample answer. Division of labor is the breaking down of a production process into small, separate tasks. Its advantages include increased productivity, improved quality, time savings, use of machinery, reduced training time, innovation, lower production costs, and encouragement of mass production. Division of labor is widely used in modern industry. Another exam question asks you to discuss the disadvantages of division of labor. Here is your answer. The disadvantages of division of labor include boredom and monotony, unemployment, interdependence, increased stress, dehumanization, and exploitation of workers. Workers may become dissatisfied. They may lose their jobs if their task is automated. The whole production line may stop if one worker is absent. Another exam question asks you to explain the relationship between division of labor and specialization. Here is your answer. Division of labor is the breaking down of a production process into tasks. Specialization is the focus on doing one of those tasks. Division of labor is the system. Specialization is the result. Both increase efficiency and output. Both have advantages and disadvantages. Both are essential features of modern economies. Let me give you a quick summary. Division of labor breaks production into small tasks. Specialization means focusing on what you do best. Advantages include increased productivity, better quality, lower costs, and innovation. Disadvantages include boredom, unemployment, interdependence, and exploitation. Specialization can be occupational, industrial, territorial, or international. The extent of specialization depends on market size, capital, technology, skills, resources, and government policy. Keep reviewing, keep practicing. See you in the next topic.